I had a genuine conversation with number 10 Downing Street about this. Bear with me. Prime Minister wants to get down with the kids. Have you got any ideas for him?
I could be a billionaire and I would be in economy saving the money.
This shirt was $800.
You're joking me. Max.
Right.
$800? Never had coffee, never had a cigarette, never had alcohol, Max. I'm so clean.
You are so clean.
Hello and welcome to Spend, brought to you in association with Nationwide, a good way to bank. It's the show where our guests show us the receipts, quite literally. We're going to dig through things they've bought, things they've loved, things they regret, things that made absolutely no sense at all. And along the way, fingers crossed, we're going to find out a little bit more about who they are and bringing his signature chaos. I mean, you don't have to bring chaos if you don't want to. And charm. Do bring the charm. To the show today, I'm joined by Max Fosh. Hi, Max.
Hello, Matt.
It's lovely to see you. I feel like we have been in like each other's periphery.
Yes, we've been in each other's ecosystem. I've also been outside of your workworkplace before with a car trying to get a job.
That's my first memory of you. And I actually thought, this guy's a genius. And I'm almost slightly frustrated that you're not a Radio 1. Although I feel like maybe, you know, you've carved your own path now.
I did the Christmas TikTok takeover 1 year for an hour, which kind of satiated my desire and appetite to be on Radio 1. But yeah, when I did that, I think it was you and Chris Stark who were the two who'd be like, yeah, give them a go. Sounds a bit of fun.
I thought it was such a fantastic thing. So for people that don't know, this was like before Max Fosh was Max Fosh.
Yeah, this was 2020.
You were doing, you were still doing sort of comedy and doing YouTube, and you'd done hospital radio, right? And you won award-winning hospital radio.
I was the best newcomer at the Hospital Broadcasting Association Awards in 2016.
Are there many newcomers?
There's only one each year, but I was given the honour of in the Premier Inn in Bolton, one of the greatest awards nights of my life. I was handed a lovely little trophy, which I still have. But I was obsessed with going into radio. I loved radio, and I thought, how do I get a job at Radio 1? And I'd seen an article during the 2008 financial crisis. This guy, I think he was called Sam, he paid his last £500 to get a billboard that just wrote "Hire Sam," and the email address had his CV on it. And it got loads of press, and everyone thought it was marvellous and wonderful. Oh, how charming. And I thought, I reckon that nexus of the idea still has the power for people to be like, oh, that's fun. How do I do it myself? I thought Radio 1, there's no billboard outside Radio 1. Can I turn my car into a billboard? So I went to a guy who wraps cars and just said, here's my CV. Can you make it massive and put it on the roof?
Amazing.
And I just parked on the double yellow line outside the front. And it was there for 9 hours. I was with the car the entire time, just in case someone came out and told me, no, you need to move. This needs to stop. I was outside with the car the entire time. And then after 9 hours, the police came around and they said, we've had a call and you need to move on. And I always thought that it was so bizarre that any of the security could have come down at any time and be like, mate, could you just move off? I would be like, absolutely fine. But someone upstairs has panicked and gone, we need to send the police and he needs to get going. But it kind of had a bit of a moment on Twitter. And I seem to remember you kind of were very supportive. And I got a call from Willard, Hayden Jones, the kind of head of Radio 1. And I didn't get a job at Radio 1, at least not for like 2 or 3 years. And then I got one show for an hour on Christmas Day.
Oh, well, listen, I'm glad that you had some sense of it being satiated on that Christmas Day show.
Yeah.
They're not quite, those Christmas shows, they're quite, I don't feel like you've got the full experience. I think
you've got about 3 links, I think.
Yeah. If Radio 1 came knocking, if Greg said, look, I'm going to leave the breakfast show. And
Jamie's on maternity leave right now. Paternity leave, sorry. So,
yeah. Why haven't you been called?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that there's always space for kind of the 1 or 2 social media stars to really tap into the youth of today. I think that's kind of the reason they do it.
But I think the fact that your passion is radio and started with radio, and that you did that, it's a good story, I think. It's a good story, Matt. If I was in charge, I'd hire you in a heartbeat.
Think of the PR opportunities.
But actually what you've done is take that same sensibility of going, okay, how can I get attention in a way that is sort of slightly subversive and cheeky and charming, and how can I use that to build an audience? And it's obviously really worked out.
It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. You know, there's a kind of it has been something that I didn't expect to do. And I find myself with work getting remarkably stressed about the most absurd things possible. I had a video idea where a mate of mine spoilt the Hunger Games for me. So to get him back, I knew he was going to the Lion King. So I bought 14 tickets in the stalls, all sat next to each other, and I hired 14 bald men. Incredible. And I got them to sat in a row, and I wrote individually on each of their heads, one letter at a time, Mufasa dies. So as he was sat up in the gods, he could see down and see the spoiler. And on the day, one of the bald men didn't turn up.
Oh, no.
And I remember just being so stressed. Firstly, I mean, it relates to spent. Not a great thing to spend your money on 14 tickets in the stalls of the Lion King.
I think that's not a bad shout, but carry on.
I was then trying to work out, do I shave my head? Do I go outside and try and find the nearest bald man, said, hi, can I write the letter M on your head? And then luckily the makeup artist we were with had a bald cap. And so we just very quickly just fashioned this bald cap onto me.
I mean, that's extraordinarily lucky.
It was,
That shows you've got to be prepared.
Yeah,
as a makeup artist, always carry a bald cap with you.
Funny, the makeup artist, first of all, what a name and what a woman. She had it all ready and prepared. But so,
would you have shaved your head?
I think I probably would have, yeah. If it had got to dire straits, you know, we had all the bald men. The tickets were in 2 hours.
Yeah.
It needed to be done. So I probably would have. But so yeah, now I just kind of find my days are full of just the most absurd questions. I filmed a video where I technically died, and that all started out like, can you turn up to your own funeral? That's kind of how my 9 to 5 works.
It must be a lovely, but stressful, creative journey that you're on every day, because a bit like radio, it never stops. It's like you do the thing and then the next thing's around the corner. But with radio, you can kind of turn up and, you know, you can play some songs in between, and a lot of it's just chit chat. With what you're doing, you're in competition not only with the rest of YouTube and media in general, but with your own last thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, you're that guy that did X, and it's always a little bit like, yeah, but that was 4 years ago now.
What's the next thing?
What's the next thing? And what have you got planned next? And, you know, you say this mad idea and people go, okay, yeah, good for you, keep going.
How do you find, as a sort of creative person, how are you with the sort of the business side of it? Because I can imagine that the fun bit is like, oh my God, I'm going to have an idea and I'm going to go out with my mates and I'm going to film some stuff and I'm going to edit it and it's going to be joyful and it's going to be just to my taste. It's exactly how I want it to be. Yeah. But alongside that, it's like, oh, we need to sign this legal document and actually we need a clearance form and we need to source 14 bald guys.
Yeah.
And I know you've built a team, but even doing that, it requires a kind of a different head than the creative stuff. And I'm fascinated by anyone from a creative space who's been able to kind of carve a path on their own. And I'm interested to know, like, when did you feel like you could go, okay, I am going to now hire someone to just help me do more silly stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not somebody who is particularly business-minded. I remember the first time that I spent money on a YouTube video, and this was literally just after, I think the Radio 1 video that we were talking about probably earned me enough to suddenly be able to think, oh, I could reinvest this back into the videos. And it was kind of Jan 2020, and I thought it would be a really good idea to do a video and interview people at the AVN Expo in Las Vegas. Now, AVN stands for the Adult Video Network Awards.
Thank you for clarifying.
So I thought this would be really like great. I'll go over there and like, you know, this is going to be great content. And so I flew over. I spent about £3,000 on this trip of hiring cameramen, hotels, and doing this video. I got back and posted the video and realised, of course, it got demonetized immediately.
Oh no. Oh no, because it was sort of flagged
because it was flagged because of, you know, inappropriate content. I mean, and it just shows how bad of a kind of businessman I am. I hadn't thought of that at all. I just thought, yeah, it'd be great. You know, it's really reinvesting into the content. And so I then became very, very scared about kind of making anything that cost any money for a long, long time. And then it wasn't until I basically had big old burnout because with YouTube, you're editing, you're producing, you're directing, you're writing, you're doing everything yourself. And I just kind of thought this needs to stop. So I hired a man called Aziz, who's still with me. He's kind of my head of content. And we've been working together for 4 years and kind of the channel's grown together. And so now we've got a team of 4 or 5.
We should talk about money because the whole show is called Spent. And I'm intrigued to know what the first thing you remember spending money, your own money on is. Like, what is there a thing that you saved up for, or that you longed for when you were a kid?
So I remember getting there were two things, and I can't remember in my mind which one came first. One of them was possibly, I think it was Pokemon Yellow, the game on a Game Boy Color.
Oh my God, I remember it.
I got given a Game Boy Color for Christmas without any games.
That's classic, like early noughties Christmas.
They're like, we've got you what you always wanted, a Game Boy. And I was buzzing until I opened the box and I kind of realised there were no games
It should be illegal to sell a Game Boy without even Tetris on it.
And I think my mum and dad kind of looked to each other and thought, oh, we've cocked up here. But, you know, that's the big Christmas present. It kind of undermines my sister if we then go out and get him another present for the present. So I then just kind of had to get like a Game Boy Color just lying around for a while.
Did it do anything other than show the Nintendo logo?
Yeah, no, it didn't. It literally just turned on and then I think it just went blank if you don't put a cartridge in the back of the Game Boy Color. So I then thought, I need to play this a game, and Pokemon Yellow had just come out a few years before, and I just saved and saved and saved, and I remember having a little coin pouch, and every week I would get £3 in pound coins. I put them in the pouch, and I wasn't actually counting how many coins were in the pouch. I thought that I had enough money when the pouch was full.
Fair enough.
When you couldn't close the pouch because there were so many pound coins in there, that's in my 5-year-old brain. Okay, that's when I have enough money.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand the economics of it, of how much a Game Boy game was. But eventually I bought Pokemon Yellow and I sat on the stairs and just played it for hours. It was just, these. I guess that you get it nowadays with these pesky kids and their phones and their TikTok. I'm sure the same conversations were happening with these pesky kids and their Game Boys and Pokemon Yellow. Yeah,
well, I guess now you can the ability to get the gratification is easy because you can download the game. Now you might still not have the money to do that. No. But the idea of having a physical piece of hardware that serves no purpose until you put a cartridge in that you can't get. Because, I remember Christmases with, the classic, we don't have the right batteries for that thing.
Oh, it's awful.
This is the sort of extreme version of that, because at least with batteries, you could kind of go, okay, look, there's a corner shop. They are open on Boxing Day. Yeah. They might have some very cheap
They might have AAAs. The C103s, the disc ones.
Exactly. But nowhere's going to sell a cartridge for a Game Boy anytime before, the middle of Jan.
I was speaking to my Aziz, who works with me, about this, and he had a very similar story. He told a story about when he was younger, he got given a GameCube for Christmas, and he then realised that it was from his sister, who was at university, who's much older than him at the time. It was her friend's GameCube. So she had brought the GameCube back for him for the Christmas holidays, and then she took the GameCube back to university with her. So he was given this GameCube.
Oh, no.
And he was like, oh my God, a GameCube. And then they said, well, actually, you've got it for 3 weeks until
it's on loan.
Your sister goes back to university. And he said, he was so conflicted. I can totally understand why. He's like, thanks, because this is everything I've wanted, but for 3 weeks.
For 3 weeks, yeah. It's sort of the kid version of it is better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, is it worse to have the get? I feel a little bit like that I would never ever pay for an upgrade on a flight. It's just not my thing. I could be a billionaire and I would be in economy saving the money.
Oh, so it's just anything more than an economy, you're never going to do
it. Never going to do it. Because in my mind I'm like, look, I can sit for 10 hours.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't need, if it's another £3,000, I'm never going to do it.
Yeah.
Never. But I once got upgraded, of God knows why, where they're like,
Matt Edmondson off the telly, though.
No, I don't even think it was that. I think it was just sheer luck. I think maybe it was my honeymoon, and maybe they sensed this is a special thing. Upgraded us. I kind of wish it had never happened, because I now know what's there.
You now know what's there.
I'm like,
Did you go to business or first?
We went to business. Yeah, I've never been to first.
I've never been to first.
No, but business is pretty great. Yeah. I don't know how they can make it better. What are they doing up there?
Fluffier pillows?
I know.
I've always thought with airline upgrades, if you knew that on the Sky Bridge at your destination there was someone stood there with the £1,500 in cash for you once you got off the flight, I think you'd take that rather than the upgrade every single time.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Pokemon Yellow.
Yes.
You've really reminded me of the Game Boy Color, because I also got one for Christmas, and it was it was the first computer game thing I'd ever had, and it honestly I remember feeling like, well, it's never going to get better than this.
No.
Like, technology is never going to get better than this. It's color, and the color was so muted.
Yeah, you couldn't sit under any form of lighting.
No, it wasn't backlit, was it?
No.
It was like it was desaturated to the point where you're like, is it color?
Yeah.
And I remember you could put an old Game Boy game in.
Yes, and it would stick out the top.
Yeah, and it would also add the colour, and it just randomly coloured the pixels. There was absolutely no sense of cohesion at all.
Pick up the Red Bull.
Exactly.
Which one?
Which one? Where is it?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of designed to the backlit. That's just unlocked a memory in my mind. Like, it seemed like the best place to play your Game Boy was underneath your duvet. It's just a completely dark environment.
Exactly, yeah.
Which already made a relatively antisocial thing incredibly more antisocial.
Yeah. Let's come to your first receipt, and it's an easy one, but I think it's going to tell us a little bit about you, and it's the last thing that you bought.
Yes, I've actually brought it with me.
Oh, fantastic.
So hold on, let me just get it.
I love this. You've gone full Melvin O'Doom on us.
I've gone full Melvin. I've brought it with me, Matt.
Uh-huh.
This is the last thing I bought, and I'm quite embarrassed about it. I bought a bubble-blowing Santa out his bottom Merry Christmas bubble toy.
Now, TikTok got you.
TikTok got me.
I saw this last year on TikTok, and
please don't tell me you bought it and it was rubbish.
No, I lingered on it too long, and the algorithm was like, we're going to get this guy.
That's exactly what happened with me.
Now, I have a 9-year-old, and at the moment, farts, well, I don't think it ever changes. No. Farts are the funniest thing in the world. Bubbles are brilliant, and particularly for a 9-year-old. And Santa, doesn't get better than that.
The Santa fart bubble crossover.
Oh, it's incredible. If you drew a Venn diagram of the three things that my child's interested in, that product would be slap bang in the middle.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing it, and I showed my wife, and I was like, this is fantastic. She said, that is we're never getting that. It's never coming to our house. But the algorithm knows that I'm tempted.
Yeah.
And I get it, I'm going to say 3 times a day. Yep. Every time I want to.
Every single time.
The Santa blowing bubbles out of his bum. I could do that. And I really do feel like my life would improve.
Yeah. Because my sister, I mean, I've got it for the same reason. My sister's just had a baby, and it's coming. Christmas coming up. The baby's going to be about 6 months old at Christmas. And I thought, he's a 6-month-old. He isn't. First of all, I'm not getting this for him because he's no idea what it is. But what can I get him? And this came up, and I clicked it just to see how much it was. And then you're right, it was curtains from there. Every day, 5, 6, 7 times a scroll. It's there.
I made the mistake once of saving an item that was advertised at me. I was like, I'll come back to that, or favoriting or something. And it's a light. They want me to buy this light every single day.
Yeah.
Can you just hold that up and show it to the camera? Because I'll be honest, I'm now I'm looking at it closely. I'm concerned about the fact that there's something in Santa's bottom.
Hey, let's not kink shame Santa here.
Well, no, I know, but I hope he's fully consented to it.
So do I. And I've just realised it says add bubble water.
I bet it's not in there.
And I'm terrified that I'm going to get to Christmas Day, unwrap this for little Bertie.
I think you're going to have to double check that. Or at the very look, bubbles are reasonably priced. You can get them, I would say, definitely. I buy extra bubbles anyway because this guy's going to be performing all day.
He's going to be performing. I'm actually going to open. I'm actually going to open the Christmas present now.
This is good. How much, Max, was this?
I think this was I think this was something like $8.99.
It's pretty reasonable.
It's pretty reasonable, and I
don't know how they're making a profit.
I think the Chinese lettering on the side might suggest why it's kind of $8.99.
Yeah.
And I think this does have the bubbles within it.
Oh, thank goodness.
So I don't think I'm going to have to.
Oh, look at that. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, that's got bubbles.
That's got bubbles in it.
Great. Okay,
it's got bubble water.
It's got bubble water. So this is it. We're fine. We're cooking.
$8.99, incredible, absolutely incredible.
$8.99. Merry Christmas. Fart bubble machine. Unfortunately, it is probably just going to sit on a shelf then for the rest of my life.
That's an heirloom. That's the sort of thing that generations will pass down.
The last thing I bought. And how are you with Christmas present giving? Because some years in October, I'm already writing the list. I'm like, Max, you've smashed this. And then other years, it's going on TikTok shop and buying the bubble blowing Santa.
I'm pretty bad. I'm pretty bad. I'm pretty bad. What do? I haven't bought anything yet for anyone. I have got some things for my kids. The issue that I have there is that my wife will judge what I buy, and she's like, "That's not right. They don't need that. Why have you got that thing?" Or she'll be like, I've already bought that thing. So I'm now having to learn that I have to communicate like, oh, I'm thinking of getting this. I'm pretty bad with present buying. I was out the other day and I felt I was smug. It was my wife's birthday and I went into a shop and I bought a birthday present for her. And then I saw a thing and I was like, that's a great Christmas present for her. I'm going to buy this now. In October, I'm going to buy it now. And I hid it in a cupboard. Now, unbeknownst to me, she was using that same cupboard to hide the kids' presents in. So she found this.
It just said secret cupboard.
Yeah. She found this thing and she went, what the hell is this? It was a vase. She's like, what the hell is this? Where's that come from? I said, well, that's actually your Christmas present. She's like, no, it's not. It's awful.
Oh, you told her?
Yeah.
I thought you would have gone, no idea. I think I got given that a few weeks ago.
No, she was like, this is so not my taste. I don't know what you were thinking. We're gonna re-gift it. So I'm bad with presents.
I can't wait for my vase for Christmas.
Yeah, but I am. I've had a couple of things on TikTok where they get you at vulnerable moments.
Oh, it's bad.
I'm doom scrolling at the end of the day, and they show me the thing, and I think, God, it's very cheap. I bought something actually, and these are the only two presents I've bought, and I bought one for Molly, and I bought one for my sister. And it is, and I bought it off the back of getting it for myself. Now, I very rarely spend any money, but this thing changed my life. It's an endoscope that goes in your ear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It allows you to blow bubbles from. No, it goes in your ear, and it has like a little rubbery tip to it, and it has a camera that streams to your phone. So you can go in and you can see if you've got any earwax and you can go around and you can scrape it out.
With that machine?
Yeah.
Right, so, so you've just got an extra camera for your ear.
Yeah.
And just live stream it to your phone.
You live stream it, but it's amazing because you're like, oh, yeah, I can see some wax there, and then, off it pops. Because
Is that the 2 p.m. secret link that you have going?
Because I like putting it, you're not, obviously it's forbidden to put a cotton bud in your ear.
Apparently so.
You shouldn't do it. But what else are they for?
Yeah.
So tempting, they're the right shape. I like sticking those things in, but I thought, if I could see what I'm doing in there, and it's so gratifying.
So do you need to put the camera in, know the state of play, take it out?
No, it has the thing attached. The tool is attached.
Oh, okay. No, now we're talking.
So it's like, if you imagine this is like a little
you have your own mining company.
Yeah, a little scooper, and then there's a camera here with a light, and it's you can see every pore in your ear, and it goes in, and it feels very medical. You can see the inside of your body, and you can see, oh my God, there's a clump of wax, and you go, okay, if I move it that way, great, and then away you go. Yeah, it's like like a mining rescue, but for wax.
It's
basically, and it was like £9, and oh my God, I use it every week.
That sounds amazing. Every week you clean your ears every week.
Well, it's just like a reassurance of like, how are they doing in there? Oh yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty clean.
Pretty golden brown in there.
Yeah, and it's weird, like you see your eardrum.
And that was a TikTok shop one.
TikTok shop. Oh, got me. And do you know what? I do the same thing again.
Yeah.
I can't recommend it strongly enough. Honestly, you've got to go and get one. TikTok knows that I like a sort of invasive body camera.
Yeah.
I like the ear ones. Have you ever heard of a tonsil stone?
No. I think ones you can have tonsil stones that come out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, you can
have you ever had one?
My family member was once at lunch and they sneezed and it flew out of their mouth.
Yeah, they're pretty revolting.
Yeah,
but they're like in the crypts of your tonsils, the official medical term. You can get little
just praying by the opposite.
Get little
speaking Latin
crumbs. You get little rosary beads of food in there, and they calcify over time, and they create these. It's like a kind of mouth cheese. It's the only way to describe it. And yeah, they urge to be released from the crypts,
right?
Which can happen on a sneeze or whatever. But there are videos of people on TikTok, and they'll stick apparatus down back there, and they pop them out, and I am mesmerised.
That does sound like it's quite up my alley because I'm a big pimple popper guy.
Oh, I love a pimple pop.
Big pimple pop guy.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Because I'm not. I feel buoyed by the fact that I'm not alone there.
No. I haven't quite graduated to tonsil stones.
When you see your first tonsil stone video, you won't go back.
Right. Yeah. I think by talking about it now, I think I'll probably send you a message after.
Yeah.
Like, Matt, I've got a tonsil stone video.
And if the phones are listening, the very next thing you'll see is a thing to stick in your ear and tonsil stones. I'm actually jealous of this, and I feel like you're living the life that I should be, which is you're a man who's going to get to see this thing in the flesh.
In the flesh.
And literally in the flesh. Santa's flesh.
Santa's flesh. I mean, I'll have to wait till the 25th of December to see whether, it's got the batteries and the bubble liquid actually works, but I'm quite proud and glad of my purchase.
I think that's a sensational purchase, and I really thank you for bringing it in.
Oh, gosh.
It's nice to see it in real life.
In the flesh.
Let's move on then to your next purchase. And I am intrigued by this one, given that was your most recent one.
Yeah.
And the receipt I'd like to see is for the thing that you regret.
I've also got that.
Okay.
I've also brought that.
Oh, you've brought that as well? Oh, amazing.
Now, there is a story behind this.
Please.
Now, it might look just very pedestrian, but the story will give a lot more clarity. So this is a shirt.
Yeah, it's like a short-sleeved, kind of like a flannelly, tea towel-y type material.
From the designer Greg Lauren.
Oh, Greg Lauren.
Greg Lauren. From Greg Lauren.
Yeah.
The famous, but most importantly, be able to see, Matt, if you're watching this on video, it is made from ostensibly the same material as a sack is from the sack race. It's made of Hessian, I think.
Yeah, it's got a sort of like a baby's muslin type thing on it.
Yes.
Like it's what you would use to clean up sicked up milk.
Yes. Now, as a result, you can see it's pretty transparent.
Yeah, so you put your hand inside it, and I can see your fingers.
Yes,
and I can see where this is going.
So also this shirt. Can you try and guess how much this shirt
from
was?
Greg Lauren?
From Greg Lauren.
Okay, well, part of the Lauren dynasty. I mean, so for Ralph's probably charging 120. Greg's got to be at least 90.
This shirt was $800.
You're joking me, Max.
Right.
$800?
This is when the story needs a lot of context.
Oh my goodness.
So I was in New York and I was filming a video in which I was pretending to be a member of the British royal family. More specifically, this character that I've invented called the Earl of Luton.
Right.
And we were filming a video and we wanted to see how Americans would react if they thought they were talking to a member of the British royal family. So we went to Fifth Avenue and I'd hired 2 bodyguards to stand either side of me. They were massive guys to make me look very important. I was wearing kind of a suit. And we walked into the boutique-y Fifth Avenue fashion stores. And I had a friend of mine who's American going before me pretending to be kind of my fixer, the royals fixer. And she said, just to let you know, we've got a member of the British royal family is about to arrive. Is there anything you can do to accommodate his stay? Now, this boutique store lost their minds. Immediately, it was Action Stations. And as a result, they closed down one of the floors of this very high-end New York department store, which I literally cannot say for legal reasons, which I'm getting to. So my friend comes out and says, they've really gone for this. You need to sell the absolute hell out of this. I was like, you got it. So I opened, the lift doors open, and there was a line of people who were basically, you know, when they meet the Queen at the Royal Variety or the King, they were lined up like that.
Wow.
So I kind of went down the line. Hello, good to see you. Good to meet you, Earl of Luton. Good to meet you, Earl of Luton. They then put me in a room, in a dressing room, and they said, do you want anything to drink? I was like, I'd love some bubbles. They bring back a $300 bottle of champagne. I'm now thinking I'm so in deep here. This is really quite bad.
And are you thinking that champagne's complimentary?
I'm thinking I have not said I would like champagne. I have said I would like bubbles, please.
Yes. Well, yeah, he's going to whip that Santa out in a second.
Santa comes out. So I'm here drinking champagne. They were like, we've got you, the personal shoppers here at this department store. So just peruse the floor, take whatever you fancy. So I'm walking around and I'm basically pointing out things that I think are really ugly because I want to see whether this personal shopper will say that I look good in basically anything.
Yeah.
So I'm pointing at a sweater that has a giant duck on it that's kind of made of duck feathers. It's horrific. Oh, you look amazing. And oh my God. So I'm doing all of this and I pick out the Greg Loren shirt and they're like, oh, you look brilliant. So mate. So I then go, now they've done all of this palaver for me. And so I think my plan was to buy 4 or 5 items, 2 or 3 days later, come back with the receipt or send somebody back else with the receipt, refund, happy days.
Yeah.
Good fun. I go to pay for 4 items, which totaled $2,500.
Wow.
I was like, this is absurd, and I hate all of these items. And we left. As soon as I left, I looked at my Instagram and I had a DM from somebody, and it was a DM from one of the girls who worked in the department store to my Max Fosh account. And she wrote, I knew it was you. I know that was bullshit. And immediately my blood goes cold.
Oh, no.
So what has obviously happened is halfway through she's recognized me, but is 99% sure, not 100% sure, not enough to risk her job on the line to then be like, no, this isn't true. So I then immediately panic and I kind of like call kind of my lawyer and I was like, what do I do? He said, well, at the moment you have walked into a store. Yes, you've pretended to be someone you're not, but you've paid for these items and left. That you've committed no crime whatsoever. You said, if you want to be 100% sure, don't return the items. So I just thought, do you know what? Fine. So I didn't return the items. I have had to keep the Greg Loren shirt, which I then put on and is so see-through. All you can see are my nipples just poking right out the front of them.
Maybe that's the appeal.
Maybe that is the appeal. And so this is the thing I've almost kind of, I both regret it and don't, because the fact that I didn't return it means that I'm not in trouble. But this is probably the thing that I regret the most.
I just can't believe that someone thinks that's worth $800. I mean,
it's yeah.
And the thing is, someone out there is buying it.
They're definitely buying it, you know, for their trip to the Hamptons. What are you wearing? Oh, Greg Loren.
Greg Loren.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how I like to show my nips? Yeah. You're going to love this new T-shirt I've got. That's an amazing story. Amazing.
So, I've never worn it. I've tried it on once and thought, absolutely not. No,
what happened to the other items?
So I gave them away doing some stand-up stuff. I would say to people what people wanted to exchange them for.
Yeah.
And so I was like, not monetary, I would anything. And there was a guy who said, at any moment of any day, I will stop what I'm doing and make you a sandwich. And I thought, that's really good. So I gave him a jumper that was like $600.
Oh my God. And have you called in the sandwich?
I called it in. I called it in and I just I think I was really hungover and I just texted him. It was like on Sunday.
Yeah.
And he was like, yep, I'm on the way.
Was it a good sandwich?
It was fine.
Okay. Yeah, he never said it was a elite sandwich.
No, he just said, I think it was
homemade or store-bought?
Home. I mean, I think it was homemade, brought it from home, but I think it was just like, he just got bread, butter, jam.
Done. Yeah. Listen, a deal's a deal.
Yeah.
He's got you there. You're going to have to get your lawyer back on the phone.
Absolutely.
Have I been scammed on this sandwich? Now, so far, I would say both of the things you've shown me are quite ridiculous, but we are getting to the receipt for most ridiculous. And I'm concerned, Max. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any less weird. The answer is a grizzly bear.
A live
grizzly bear.
Okay, all right.
So I had an idea. Well, I was at the pub and we were talking, it was around the 4th of July where they had these hot dog eating contests in the US. And we were watching it at the pub, these clips. And the conversation turned to who could eat more, one of these kind of men and women who eat competitively for a living, or a bear.
A bear. Conversation over. Move on.
There was a few people who were like, I reckon the bear will get, because the bear doesn't know it's a competition. So yes, the bear could probably eat more, but they'd probably get disinterested and walk off. So I thought, I'm going to find this out. So I then went into the office the next day. I spoke to my producer. I was like, Molly, can you find me a grizzly bear that can eat hot dogs? She said, yes, boss. And a week later, she came back and said, there is a bear called Tank the bear he's a star. He's in the biz.
Right.
He was in Dr. Dolittle 2.
Sure.
He was in the bath with Eddie Murphy, and he lives in his lovely home in Salt Lake City in Utah. And I've spoken to his owners. He was born in captivity. He's been raised with humans. And they think that they could train him to sit at a picnic table and have a pile of hot dogs. And there will be no need for any form of cage or thing between you two. So you can sit next to a bear. And just like, she said, that's the good news. And I said, what's the bad news? She said, it costs $12,000. It's like, what? $25,000.
Wow.
And the way that YouTube works is that you kind of get brands that kind of pay for the content, so they get shout outs within the brands, within the videos. And it was already going to make just a hell of a loss, but I thought it would be a great visual. So we flew to Salt Lake City, and I had a picnic table in the middle of this field with Tank the bear in the middle, me to his left, and to his right, a competitive eater called Nick. We had 75 hot dogs in front of all of us.
With buns?
Without buns. So
without buns.
The trainer said that Tank, he's gluten-free.
Gluten-free, yeah, fair enough.
He's watching his weight. Hibernation's coming. And so it was just glizzy. It was just hot dogs. And we had to boil the hot dogs in sweet liquid for Tank. He's quite particular, so he wouldn't eat it unless it was kind of sweet. The competitive eater, Tank had 75 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Nick had 64 hot dogs in 10 minutes, and I had 4. So it was a close run thing. I also had to bring a knife and fork as well, because I'm not going to, you're polite, you're with a bear.
You're not going to sword swallow a wiener in front of a bear.
Get a glizzy down you. You've got to at least cut it up. So yeah, I spent $25,000 on being able to have a hot dog eating competition with a grizzly bear.
Oh my God. I think worth every penny, surely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was a business expense as well.
I was going to say, your accountants must have an amazing time. Because
great time.
What can't you write off?
Yeah. It's all, it's kind of almost anything.
Yeah.
So it was, and I don't regret kind of a single thing out of it. I really, really loved it.
Was there any sense of fear when you were around the bear? Because as much as you can know factually, he's been raised with a family and they've trained him and he's been in a bath with Eddie Murphy, it's still a bear.
I was much more carefree about this than the rest of my family were. And I was kind of put to ease because the owners had said to me, we've never had an insurance claim, which is an interesting...
The dead can't sue.
Yeah, exactly, which is an interesting way of saying... he's never eaten anybody. They just haven't been able to sue. And when I was sat next to him, there was no fear. Why did God make bears so adorable with fluffy ears if they are going to be so grizzly? And I would just kind of see him. He lumbered up. He put his paws on the table. I thought, this is just adorable. Look at this. And just kind of munched away. And then when his 75 hot dogs were finished, he lumbered back into the woods. Incredible. So no, I weirdly wasn't scared. And this is probably why women live longer than men.
Yeah. Yeah, not least of all the hot dog intake.
All
Think
the
of
hot dog
salt
intake,
content. It's going to do nothing for your cholesterol. That.
Yeah. What I mean, have you answered that question? What is the most kind of absurd thing that you've ever bought?
I don't think I can compete with a grizzly bear on any platform. Actually,
I reckon you've got him in chess.
maybe. Well, I don't know. Couple of lucky moves. I don't know that I have spent money on anything too ridiculous. What I tend to spend money on is projects that probably are never going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But that bring me some sort of joy.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know if they're only ridiculous up until the point where they become a real thing.
Yes.
And then it's like, I was a genius all along. What you haven't seen is the other 90 random projects that I've embarked upon.
I've kind of always felt this with YouTube as well, and anything that you try out for the first time. Obviously, with you, kind of got the board game stuff that's so like incredibly successful. The barrier to entry is always embarrassment.
Yeah,
that's the thing that is kind of the scary thing. And then once it's become successful, like, wow, God, you're amazing, great with the board games. It's brilliant.
Yeah, there's that initial sort of risk of, I think this is a good idea, I think this is funny, or I think this is going to be, people will share my vision for this or enjoy it. Yeah, I think you're right. And I think having a high tolerance for embarrassment is really handy.
Very handy in life, just generally.
Very handy, yeah. Before we move on to your final spending question, I've got an email. It's from Katie. I don't know if you've heard of emails before. It's sort of electronic mail. Yeah. Katie has sent us, as often people do, a little story of her own spending. So I'm exposed to this for the first time myself here, Max. I spent £45 on an artisan matcha set because I thought it would make me a mindful, serene human, only to immediately knock the whisk over, stain my countertop and drop another £20 on stuff to clean up my mess. Should I be forcing this matcha aesthetic or accept that I'm better off with a builder's brew? I come to you, Max Fosh. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's the Shrek of the morning drinks, the matcha. Don't think anyone's referred to it as that.
No. I think they avoid that in the marketing.
They do. I think that, we are always constantly trying to do things like this to try and make us feel a little bit better. Because you always, it's £3 a day. So, it builds up. It really does build up. I think she should keep going. I do think that you've got this far. I think I'm a big sunk cost guy.
Yeah.
I will keep going until it comes to a point where I'm really like, no, I definitely shouldn't. So if she's asking the question at this point, she's not gone far enough.
Yeah.
It needs to get to a point where you're like, no, this needs to end right now.
Until the house burns to the ground.
Yes.
You keep at it.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. I think that's the right way to go.
I don't think I fully know what a matcha is. I hear it spoken about a lot.
No idea.
Alongside some Dubai chocolate and a Labubu, and all of it's a mystery to me.
6-7 Dubai chocolate, Labubu, matcha.
Exactly.
That's the Venn diagram of things that Matt and I don't understand.
I did have to grill ChatGPT about 6-7 to be like, but why? And it's like, well, the reason is there isn't a why.
There isn't a why.
That's sort of the joy of it. It's like, no, I need a reason.
It's the next generation's kind of Aristotle. Which is like, but maybe it just is. And it's kind of the same. Did you remember, I'm sorry for anyone listening who remembers this, but do you remember The Game?
The Game?
Yes. Which was this was a game at school, which was the whole point of the game was to forget the game.
Oh, I do remember the game, and now you've got me.
Exactly. And so when you remember the game, you've lost the game.
Yeah.
And I had a genuine conversation with number 10 Downing Street about this. Bear with me, because there was a rule, which is that the game is over when the Prime Minister announces that the game is over.
Incredible.
And I got an email through from the comms director at number 10, basically being like, the Prime Minister wants to get down with the kids. Have you got any ideas for him? And I sat on this Zoom and I said, guys, I don't know whether you watched any of my content before, but I'm going to tell you right now that I don't think any of my ideas are suitable for number 10 Downing Street. And they're like, try us. I was like, okay. So I pitched them turning number 10 into an Airbnb, doing a number 2 and number 10. And then the last one was asking the Prime Minister to end the game. And it was on a call about 8 people. I was like, does anyone here remember the game? No one put their hand up.
Oh, really?
No one remembered.
Oh, no.
So I think that's the kind of same with 6-7. It's like, it's just a thing.
It's in the ether, ether.
It doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't serve any purpose, but it binds people together.
Well, it serves the purpose of going, we know something that you don't know.
Yeah.
To adults.
Yeah.
And it's irritating.
All of this.
Yeah, all of that. I like it. So matcha is beyond me. I'm not a good person to ask about this. I didn't have my first cup of tea until I was 30, and it was sort of by mistake.
You're very much like, we've got a mutual friend called James who's never had coffee.
He's never had coffee? Yeah. He, there's another weird thing, food or drink thing with James. I can't remember for the life of me what it is.
He doesn't. No, I can't remember. He's also never had a cigarette.
Well, I've never had a cigarette or a coffee either. Possibly why I'm friends with James.
Have you not?
Never. Never had coffee. Never had a cigarette. Never had alcohol, Max. Yeah, I'm so clean.
You are so clean.
So clean. But at 30, peer pressure got to me and I had a cup of tea. Now remember, if you want to get in touch just like Katie did, please send me a little email. The address is spent@seriouslypopular.com, and who knows, it could be read aloud on a podcast. Max, we're about to get to your final purchase, and very kindly, Nationwide gave you £25.
They did.
And you could spend that on anything you wanted, but it couldn't be something that you'd bought before. I'm intrigued to know, how did you spend the dollar? Because you ain't getting a grizzly bear for that kind of cash.
No, not going to get the grizzly bear for that, but I'm going to get what a grizzly bear eats for that.
Not more hot dogs.
Not hot dog, which is a fish, or a very specific type of fish, a big billy bass.
Big mouth Billy Bass?
Yeah.
Don't worry, be happy.
This was on the countertops and walls. It was, I remember going when I was a child, it was hung up on the wall of a friend's house, and you would go and impress it every single time I went around to his house. And I remember thinking, I don't know what, subsequently now looking back, there seemed to be this just kind of neurosis that took hold of everybody.
Everyone agreed it was incredible.
Everyone thought that this thing is hilarious.
If you don't know what we're talking about, by the way, this was a plastic bass fish mounted to a wall like someone would if they were,
had caught a
bass. And it had a button or a motion sensor that as you walk past it...
I didn't know there was the motion sensor version.
It would mechanically turn its head and sing either like a Bill Withers song, like Don't Worry, Be Happy, or... what was the other one it did? Take Me to the River.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the two that I remember.
And it was phenomenal. It was one of the biggest selling products of the early noughties. The Queen had one at Buckingham Palace.
That's exactly, and she had one at Balmoral. I did some research. She had it on the piano, which I'm sure, being at the royal family, was one of the most expensive pianos you could possibly buy. She had one on the piano at Balmoral, which I think is quite charming. That you're like, yes, wonderful classical music, but have you heard this bass?
It did dominate. I'm going to say it had a lifespan of about 5 years.
Yeah.
Where you couldn't really move for it, and every time someone saw it, it was like, have you seen this fish?
This thing's great.
It's incredible.
And what I find really interesting is that I looked up how much what the RRP was back in the day, and it was $30, which is basically the exact same amount that it is worth now, which means obviously for inflation it's gone down, but it has stayed the exact same price. And there's a phenomenon that people talk about, where if you're reselling your shoes secondhand, they go down in price. But if you're a celebrity, that number will increase and be more than RRP, which means there's a celebrity out there where their level of fame means that they could sell their shoes secondhand for the same amount that they bought them. And I feel like we've worked out that actually Big Billy Bass is that celebrity because it's the same amount as what it was purchased for.
And I wonder if that's because they are selling through old stock. Are they still making, is someone somewhere still producing the Big Mouth Billy Bass?
That is such a good question. Or did they did an order for 10 million
Yeah, they were
units.
like, we're going to make, or they had a bumpy year and were like, the Queen's, we got an endorsement from the Queen. Let's make loads. And then just as trends do, petered off. And now there's just a few on dusty shelves of joke shops somewhere.
Yeah.
I used to work in a joke shop, and Big Mouth Billy Bass was a problem because anytime anyone walked past it, you would hear one of those two songs.
Yeah.
And in the same way that people who work in department stores at Christmas are like, they get PTSD from hearing Wham.
Yeah.
It's that, but with just these same two songs.
Is it the songs, or is it just hearing it in that very particular?
Exactly. Where it's the
This
EQ
tinny.
lives in sort of whatever that middle, like 1,000 hertz. It's just like, oh, good.
Yeah.
I can't hear that bass anymore. But having said that, I do think it's a sensational product, and it's one of those things that I really respect, because making things is hard.
Yeah.
And I think making anything to sell is quite difficult. The idea that you would say, and I always think about trying to pitch it to my wife, because I'll sometimes say, like, I've got this idea for a product, or I've got this idea for a thing, and you go, well, what's required to make that happen? It's like, well, we'll have to get like something tooled. Someone will have to like sculpt a thing, and we'll have to get it cast in a factory, and there'll be probably a sort of health and safety report that goes alongside it, and got to get a guy who can do electronics, and actually we're going to have to license a song from Bill Withers, and all the things that it would take. And you're going, listen, I've remortgaged the house, but here's the vision. It's a rubber fish, but when you walk past it, it turns and sings to you. And somewhat there will have been haters in the creator's life going, that mate, come on, you've just had a second baby,
got a mortgage,
exactly. And they've gone, no, singular vision, Big Mouth Billy Bass. And they have proved everybody wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I've got my own, thanks to Nationwide.
There you go. Did we get, we've got it. Oh my gosh. I never had one as a kid.
I never had one as a kid, which is why I wanted to buy it.
Oh my God. Right. I'm going to try and investigate the packaging to see whether or not they're selling through the stock, or whether this is new.
First of all, it looks like they're selling through the stock.
It does, doesn't it? Let's see what it says here. Okay, no, this is a post-Brexit fish. It has the UK CA marking on it, which is
what, the UK and Canada. Is that what does the
CA
stand?
No, I don't know what the CA stands for, but it's like certificate of something or other.
Right.
The CE is the European one. Post-Brexit, UK CA. This bass is still being produced.
Wow, this bass lived through the Brexit bus.
Shall we press the button?
Yeah.
Let's have it. But that, by the way, is the sensor down there, I think.
Okay.
So you can choose the modes. What's he going to sing? Oh, I forgot it did. First I was afraid, I was petrified.
First I was afraid.
Brilliant.
I was petrified. Kept thinking
It is good.
live without you by my side.
It is good.
But then I spent so many nights.
What I admire
Mouth is
the puppetry that they've worked into this. In a world where we've got... They've just said in my ear to turn it off, you press the button again, like I want to turn it off.
Sorry, we're not doing that. I guess the issue that they have is because if you walk past that in a store and you pressed it, you'd be like, that's great, but I've had the fun.
Yeah.
They've kind of gone too early with being able to basically have the entire product.
I think I disagree, because I think you go, oh my God, the feeling I've just had, I could give that to someone else. When they come to my house and they think, oh, he's just got a fish mount on the wall. When they walk past it and it starts singing I Will Survive, it's going to give them a little shot of dopamine.
Big Mouth Billy Bass.
Big Mouth Billy Bass. It's a good name. The sensational singing fish. I cannot fault any of your purchasing decisions. I really can't. And I feel like you're making the kind of decisions that if I were slightly less risk averse, I should be making for myself. So that's yours.
Thank you very much.
In fact, I think that's our copy of Big Mouth Billy Bass, which we're gonna put up on one of these shelves.
Brilliant.
So we'll find some space for that in a second. But incredible. You've got fantastic taste.
Also in French, le poisson chaud sensational.
Oh, very good.
There you go.
Yeah, le Big Mouth Billy Bass.
Yeah,
that's as close as I can do.
It was a French invention.
Oh, it's got German on the other side as well. What is this?
De sensational singende fish.
Okay, yeah. It's amazing how close those languages are.
Yeah.
Listen, you drink that in. I can see you've already taken. I've lost you to the fish now, and that's absolutely fine. But it's good because we've come to the end of the episode of Spent, brought to you in association with Nationwide, a good way to bank. Especially for you, You've got a fish out of it.
Got a fish out of it.
Thank you so much for coming on today, Matt.
Thank you.
It's been a joy. Those are some incredible stories. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you follow us wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe to us on YouTube. And don't forget to send us your own spending confessions. We are spent at seriouslypopular.com. Love to hear those. And I'm going to be back next time with another guest and another journey through their purchasing past. We'll see you then. I really hope you are enjoying Spent. If you want to see more, then follow us wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe on YouTube. Plus, check out This Is Money on Instagram and TikTok for bonus content with our guests.